Hi everyone. In this video, we'll see the stability of the submerged bodies. For this, let me consider a body which is completely submerged in an liquid. Okay, so this is the body. This is the axis of that body. So I'll mark the center of gravity G. This is the point where the weight of the body is acting. Next, since it is a submerged case, the buoyancy force will be acting at the center of buoyancy. But that center of buoyancy, there are three different cases. One is the center of buoyancy is below the center of gravity G, or it might be above the center of gravity G, or it coincides with the G. So let me take an each case and explain. In the first case, let me take the center of buoyancy will lies below the center of gravity. The center of buoyancy, we know that the buoyancy force is active. So what I'll do is I'll just give an angular displacement for this body. Means I'll rotate this body in clockwise direction. Let me see what happens. Just I'll take the same body and I just tilt it in the clockwise direction, or I'll give an angular displacement in the clockwise direction like this. So because of the angular displacement in the clockwise direction, this body is tilted. You can observe originally the body was vertical. Now it is tilted in the clockwise direction. This is nothing but the angular displacement, okay, in clockwise direction. Now I'll mark the center of gravity G. This is the point where the weight of the body is acting. Then this is the point B where the force of buoyancy is acting. Now, this both force of buoyancy as well as the weight of the body will acting opposite to each other. Okay, due to this, it will form an couple. Now, you can see the direction of the couple. This will also rotate in clockwise direction. This will also rotate in the clockwise direction. Since we already given the angular displacement in clockwise direction, this body will never come back to its original position because the couple developed due to the weight as well as the buoyant force is also in the same direction. Therefore, this type of stability is called as unstable equilibrium, where the body will never come back to the original position. This is the first type of equilibrium, that is unstable equilibrium. Now I consider the center of buoyancy above the point G. So let me take the same body. Okay. So this is the axis. So I'll take the center of gravity here where the weight of the body is acting. Now I'll take the center of buoyancy above the center of gravity. This is the point where the buoyancy force is acting. Okay. So now again for this body, I'll give an angular displacement in clockwise direction. I'll give an angular displacement in the clockwise direction like this. Okay, now this is the point G where the weight is acting vertically downwards. This is the point B where the buoyancy force is acting vertically upwards. For this body, I also given the clockwise rotation. Now you observe the direction of this couple formed due to the force of buoyancy and the weight. It will form an anti-clockwise moment. It will create an anti-clockwise moment. So this moment is what we call it as an restoring moment. Restoring moment. Now you observe that I have given a clockwise rotation, but because of this, the weight and buoyancy force, this is will creating a restoring moment, means this body will again come back to its original position. This type of equilibrium, what we call it as an stable equilibrium. Okay, so this type of equilibrium usually occurs when your center of buoyancy of the submerged body, which is higher than the center of gravity, or the center of buoyancy is above the center of gravity. We call it as an stable equilibrium. Now the last one equilibrium is when the center of buoyancy coincides with center of gravity. Means both center of buoyancy as well as center of gravity with the same point. This type of equilibrium is what we call it as an what? Neutral equilibrium. The third one is neutral equilibrium. This will occur when the center of buoyancy coincides with the center of gravity. So three types of equilibrium we have seen in submerged bodies. One is the stable equilibrium that occurs when the center of buoyancy is above the center of gravity. The second type of equilibrium is unstable equilibrium when the center of buoyancy is below the center of gravity. The third is the neutral equilibrium. This is when both the center of buoyancy and the center of gravity coincides with each other. These are the three different equilibriums in the submerged bodies. Thank you.